Alright guys, I'm back with another good one. I don't know how many people actually have these lawnmowers, but it's 25-year-old lawnmower. Matter of fact, it was bought, I live in Cedartown, Georgia, and it was bought in Rome, Georgia at Osmond's Lawn and Tractor. Looks like 12501. It may have been serviced there. I actually worked there when I was probably 13, 100 years ago. Anyway, the main object of this video is if you need to change the main drive belt, because this is got the drive and reverse that you can actually use while you're using the mower. You control all your speed right here. The only thing that does is push it in to crank it, or if you have one of these, you know. And basically on this mower, you control everything right here. If you try to hit the brake with it going, it don't like it. So if you're looking at getting one of these, a guy here in town I know bought this. He said from an older couple that was in their garage. You see how good a shape it's in. I mean, it's ridiculous. And brought it to me, been sitting for a long time, and as you know, that's the worst thing you can do to stuff. Anyway, I got it back running. I sold it to a lady I knew, or I know. I don't know her that great, but when you sell to somebody you know and something happens to it a day later, they want to bring it back, which was fine. She's going to pay to fix it because it was running when I sold it and everything was good. And you have two options when you buy something. It's either brand new with a warranty, or you buy it used and you hope for the best. Well, as we all know, new stuff is expensive. I actually sold this mower for 450 bucks. New carb, new filter, spark plug, new battery. It cranks first try, everything works clean. Anyway, you can't really, it's hard to find them like this anymore. And this is probably, I only use zero turn. I would never go back to one of these. I'd rather cut grass with scissors. But if I had to have one of these, this would be the one I would have or like it, because you can use this as your, kind of like a gas pedal with your hand. You don't have to stop and change and get all the safety features where you can't go in reverse, and it's just the simplest riding mower that's not a zero turn that I've ever used. I almost wanted to keep it, but I have a zero turn. Well, my neighbor does that I use that I take care of. But anyway, the moral of this, I know I get to rambling, but if you're looking for one of these and you find one, you're looking for a riding mower, this one's great. 42 inches, small yard. Most of these riding mowers ain't much than what, I don't know, 50 inches or so average, being not a zero turn. Anyway, the moral of this video is she bought it and it stopped going. It has a drive belt just like a zero turn. Usually zero turns, they have their motors in the back that turn it, and you have a belt right under here that connects the engine and the two motors that, you know, turn, that make the wheels go back or forth. It's a short belt with probably 3 or 4 pulleys, I guess according to what mower it is. This is the same concept, except it runs from the front all the way to the back. Problem I was seeing, she said, okay, I got a belt broken. No problem, bring it back. Got online, brand new, a John Deere belt, 70 bucks. And I'm like, geez. I started looking at videos, and it's probably the toughest belt. I don't work on these every day. I work on cars every day. But I've worked on lawnmowers, and it's the toughest belt I've ever done. To quote Fast and Furious, Johnny Tran to Toretto, I had my ass handed to me if I would have went to Race Wars with this thing. So I watched the guy on the video, and he pulled the deck, he took off all kind of stuff, took off springs, saying basically, and nothing against him, because that's what you want to do. You want to take it halfway apart. I don't like to take stuff off unless it's got to be taken off, because then you got to readjust it. You lose stuff, you whatever. So I said, yeah, we'll see about that. So would I have took the deck off when I first started this? Because now I know what to do to make it easy, and that's what this video is going to be about for you if you're changing the drive belt. I'm not going to go through how to do it. I'm going to show a picture of the diagram and the tools I used and kind of what I did, because once you get in there and look, you'll see it. You don't need a 3-hour video to show how to change a belt. It's once now I know how to do it, which should never have to do it again. I'm pretty sure that was the original belt, or at least might have been when they put it on in 2001. It was dry rotted so bad that the cracks in it was almost all the way through the belt. I don't know how it lasted enough for her to buy it for me and get it back home. So this belt is a John Deere belt. It's like 96 inches. You can buy a cheaper belt, and they're Kevlar, or they say they're this or they're that, and they're half the price. Don't buy them. They was different. I looked at reviews. They were different links, and people said they might have lasted a week, a month, a season. I know for a fact this John Deere belt lasts a long time. And the thing about it is, it's long. It's really, when it goes around, it almost touches itself. When it goes around some pulleys, and it rides on some guides that don't have no rollers. So how difficult this belt is, you don't want to cheap out on it. So I'm going to first show you the tools I used. Then we're going to look at the diagram on my other phone. If I can find it. I think, well, that's the only tools you used. It must have been easy. Okay, here's my diagram of under. So this is the front, and basically the belt starts in the back. It's starting to focus. It shows these two pulleys here. There's one more pulley, and it don't really show it in the diagram, but you see the belt, that pulley's actually down here, right here. In the picture, I guess they blowed it up, but the belt has to go around that side of the pulley, because when it goes straight through here, and you see how the belt comes back, it almost touches right there. So when I was looking, I said it has to go around it that way to help keep that belt tight from touching. But you see, it looks like an easy deal. Well, what I'm going to show you is going to make it a lot easier. And the worst part is the last bit, getting the belt on the last pulley, and I would suggest help. Here's the tools I used. Pry bar, that's probably, I don't know, 20-inch pry bar. A 13, a 14, a 10, needs to be on an extension or deep well. And I got a power ratchet. Love this thing. So this is the cheapest one Milwaukee makes, and I have beat it to death. But it still works. I need a stronger one. But anyway, that's what I got. 1, 2, 3, basically 4 tools with a 10 millimeter. Now, you saw this one more time if you need to pause it and take a screenshot. Boom. So now let me show you the belt I bought. And I was scared, because once you do all this and the belt's too long or too short, you got to do it again. Okay, there's the belt number. You see it through the plastic. I'm giving this to her in case she wants to ever keep it and needs to get another one, because the research, man, it'll take you everywhere. So this is the belt. Actually, this is an older mower, and probably some of these, different John Deere's might use the same belt. So brand new, 70 bucks shipped. Now I got on eBay, and I'll go on eBay and I'll put in that part number, and I'll hit lowest price, and I found a guy who had one for like 55 bucks or best offer, offering him 40 bucks. He came back with like 45 with tax, and it was free shipping. It was like 48 bucks. I could have got a cheaper belt for 35. 13 more bucks. I got a John Deere. Thing was thick. It was heavy duty. It was almost hard to work with, because the back pulley that's got the fan on it, you'll see if you're doing this, To get it above, you got to go above that pulley, and there's a bolt like a nut up there, but you just have to push it and kind of turn that pulley and let it kind of pull that belt behind it because it's tight. There was another tight place, but it's the same deal. I didn't have to pull the deck. I didn't have to take off no tires. I didn't even jack it up. Okay, that gets dangerous anyway. So let's see, I took off 3 things. First, I got the deck as low as it would go. Your parking brake handle, whatever you want to call this, goes straight down about, I don't know, a few more inches, and it's got a 10mm nut. You'll see it. You take that nut off and this whole thing will slide up. And to put it back, you just put it back. Leave it off. Second thing, if we can see it, I took this steering linkage right here off, and it went to, can I see it? Right there. And that's where there's a, hard to see, but you see on the bottom that black and silver. In the middle is, you hold it with, I believe that was a 13. And then the top was a little tight, and it's a 14, because you got to move that, because you got to get the belt. That's your blade deck belt, and above it is right there your belt that controls your drive. Third thing I had to take off was this bar here, and it had 2 tins. You probably be able to see it, but right there, 1 on each side. And pull your deck belt off. Mine, it might be a little too loose, but it came off easy. Get that out of your way. Get that steering linkage out of your way. Get that thing out of your way. Keep up with your stuff. And then you look at the diagram and you go at it. Now, you'll see on the diagram that one, get it around the back pulley first. Okay? Then you'll see the belt goes all the way straight. It don't go around nothing until it gets to the front pulley. And then when it gets back, make sure it's all flipped right and the V's turn right. And you go around that second pulley, it's basically about right, because your main pulley's right under the seat. Another little pulley here, and then you got 2 pulleys in the middle here. That's, one's a guide, and one's a tensioner. That tensioner is tight. It is tight. So when you go around here, you get it on here first, you go around this other pulley, it's about right here on the outside, and it goes all the way back. Then you get it on this pulley. Make sure everything's nice and straight then. Then you go around, look at the diagram, you go around your tensioner pulley. Then when you get to your, which is about right in here, then you have a pulley right beside it. That's, the guide or stationary pulley, whatever. So the problem I ran into after I got all that figured out, what to take off, and that was the tough part, figuring out what had to come off, because when I watched videos, it was, they was taking everything off the lawnmower. I'm thinking, springs, really? Them are hard to get back. Them springs are tight. And that's what he said. Didn't have to. So I got all the belt routed. I got it around the tensioner, and that last pulley, like I said, the tensioner is about right here, and the other pulley's here on the guide. I'm gonna go back in there and show you. The belt would actually go around the stud on the bottom of that stationary pulley, and I left it on there, and I thought to myself, how in the world, it's so tight. I can't get it to move. I don't have any help. Help is a big deal. So I took that pry bar, and if you look under here, you'll not be able to really see it, but you can get to the tensioner pulley right here, and you can see I kind of scratched it up a little bit because I didn't have no help. So I was able to get my pry bar on that pulley, and it pushes back, so the pulley will push toward the back of the mower. And I got that pry bar on there, and I pushed it, and it actually held right here. Then the problem I had was, if you go too far with it, the farther you go, the better you're off, because you need every bit you can. But if you go too far, the 2 pulleys will touch. So having help with the pry bar on one side would definitely make this job a lot easier. And once I got the belt on, after about 2 hours, it was just glorious. So let's go back and look at the diagram. Remember, 3 things to take off, what I've showed you. If you get help with the pry bar, I mean, you should have this done in 30 minutes. And the lawnmower place is gonna eat you alive. So here's what I'm talking about. You have your front pulley, your back. Get it back here first, okay? Get it around that second pulley. And you see it goes all the way. It don't go around nothing. Around the front. Then you want to get it around this one right here is the phone will not stay focused. Is your tensioner pulley. So you want it to go around there first. Look at it without my finger there. And then you want to put it on this pulley. Okay? And to do that, you've got to get the pry bar coming from this side and pry this pulley back. It'll pry back, and then it'll allow you to put that belt on this pulley. Sounds like a lot. It is a little tough without the deck off. Would I take the deck off now? No. Not knowing what I know now. No way. Don't need to. I mean, it would open it up. It would make it a lot easier. And these you know, the decks ain't hard to get off. I already had the belt off a few things, but I was by myself, and I wanted to prove to myself that it could be done without doing all that from the video. You have 2 choices. Do it like that. I think you're going to spend more time taking the deck off. Now, I've not got the biggest arms and hands, but I'm kind of a big guy. So I was able to do it. You know, if you're 6'5", 300 pounds, you take the deck off. You need somebody strong for that tensioner to pry it. They're going to have a little bit of strength, and especially when you're putting that belt on, you don't want it to pinch your finger. But that's it. Kind of a long video, I know. Or what are we, 17 minutes, but really not much more than this. If you get to it, get it on level ground. You don't have to jack it up. Have somebody helping. Look at the diagram, get the right belt, watch this video, and it will help. And I hope I help. Remember to subscribe. I'm always working on strange things or different things. I don't stick to nothing. I'm rebuilding a Yamaha golf cart engine now, which that's been a chore. So I'm gonna go over that too later. Different things that come up. All right, guys, thanks. Remember to subscribe.